This is Teaching to the Test Pattern.
Hey buddy, what's happening? This is Teaching to the Test Pattern, and this is episode 2 of season 2, and this is it's probably going to be an episode that doesn't make me a lot of friends for a lot of reasons. It's going to sound kind of hypocritical, I'll admit. It's going to sound like I am holier than thou. It's going to sound like I am too good for the room, but I'm okay with it because I fell into the trap that we're going to talk about, and it really ruined my classroom experience. It ruined my relationship with some kids. It ruined my expectations of myself and a lot more, and it was really damaging. And especially if you're a new teacher, I want you to avoid this situation. But if you're a teacher that's in the mix of this, I want you to know that you can get out of it. And what I'm talking about is being crazy for contests. Yes, contests are great. If you're a national award winner, you're the best video production teacher in the nation. And I tell my students that. And I tell my students that if you're a state award winner, you're the best video production student in the state. And they can put that on their resume, and that sounds really cool and all that. But I'll be perfectly honest with you. Several years ago, I fell into the trap of, how can I fill that trophy case? Like, how can I get into a situation where I've got more trophies in the trophy case than the athletics department? And how can I get more plaques on the wall than all the other organizations? And how can I do all of those things? And what I found was that became what I wanted to do more than I wanted to teach. And I'll be perfectly honest, I see it in a lot of schools. And a lot of teachers that I consult with and we talk through things, they have assignments that are called, insert contest submission assignments. And I just want to contest the contesting. I mean, perfectly honest with you, I'm all about Main Street money. And if you don't know what Main Street money is that intangible, that is that political capital, that is what your board office sees when they see your program. And when you go to ask for money and you go to ask for access and those type things, that's Main Street money. That's that power you have with your administration or your board office or what have you. And it's a great thing to have, and a great way to get it is to keep your name front of mind in terms of, just your program in front of mind in terms of just being present. And a lot of people, myself included for a while, found that presence came in trying to win contests. And the problem is sometimes we become all about the contest, and it's not necessarily about the student and what the student is getting, and it hurts the kids. My situation, I got called out by a kid because they felt that they didn't matter unless their work was really good. And if it wasn't really good and I didn't feel like I could submit it or they could submit it, then their value was placed in that. And that's just not fair to them. And let's be honest, it hurts you as the teacher. It hurts me. It hurt me because it's a lot of stress to get kids to push out award-winning content, especially if you do it multiple times a year. Now, I do want to say this, that I am going to continue to submit to contests, but my students aren't going to know about it when they're producing it. For example, we're going to submit for a contest for a Broadcast Excellence Award, but my students aren't even in the students that produce that aren't even in the class anymore. It's going to be something from first semester. That's kind of how I'm attacking it now. I'm not doing current stuff, and I'm not doing stuff certainly that they're producing simply to produce content for contests. That's not fair to them or to me. But I understand that, if you have a good run and you're winning contests for a while, your administration begins to expect it and they want to see it. And it's tough. I mean, it's easy, especially if you're in a silo and you're the only broadcast video teacher in your town or definitely in your school. You can feel alone, and you can feel like, well, FFA, because they have 7 million contests, so they're going to place top 5 in at least 6 million of them. They're getting all kinds of credit and recognition, and you're getting left out. But I'm going to offer some suggestions on how to keep that Main Street money and keep that political power and keep that recognition for your kids. So instead of trying to take over the world, start by taking over the neighborhood. And what I mean there is build your own contests. Several schools that I talk with have their own film contests and broadcast contests and things like that. And what that does is that builds your crop internally in the safety of your school, and that allows you to really cultivate a student group that is not necessarily contest-minded but excellence-minded. And that's where we should always target, is excellence. Instead of competing in other contests, find other ways to get your kids' work noticed. Do work for the local newspaper. Do work for the local radio stations. There's all kinds of charities in every community. Find those charities and find ways to put your kids' work out there via those charities. I mean, that has been something that has been very vital to my success as an educator, has been finding those charity organizations that need support and supporting them. It always comes back. It really always has come back. Work with, again, the local news, local college. Go find some of the smaller colleges. Obviously, your major universities don't need a ton of help because they have video crews. They have, entire departments of 10, 20, 30 people who go out and produce content for them. But your local colleges, your small community colleges, your small, very small independent colleges that have athletics teams, they want support and love too. So, you arrange with those guys to do stuff with their athletics or with their, recruiting or what have you, and really reap those benefits. And of course, local businesses, because let's be honest. And I don't know what the numbers are. And if I were a good podcaster, I would have done the research and found what percentage of people live now within 50 miles of where they went to high school. I'm sure that number is astronomical. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I live within about 8-10 miles away from where I graduated high school. That's not on purpose. I graduated and I was never, ever, ever coming back. But wife and kids and parents and all that brought me back. So my wife actually taught where I graduated from. She, when we moved back to Georgia after we got married, she taught in the same county for 6-7 years so it's you always come back. So finding those local businesses for your kids to build relationships with is very, very important, because again, it may be a lifelong opportunity for your kids. One of the things that I enjoy doing, and it builds the quality and it builds the standard of excellence with my kids, is I compete against my kids. For example, today I gave them an assignment and I said, I'm going to do this assignment too. Towards the end of class, I put my work up on the board and I was almost done, and most of them were still trying to figure out where to start. And what that does is that shows them the expectation, and that shows them how you as their teacher have a set of skills, but it also shows them professional speed and quality of work. With a kid, if you give them 3 days, it's going to take them 3 days to do the work. If you give them 3 hours, it'll take them 3 hours. The work always seems to find a time. So that's something that I do that I have fun. And if you have to compete, like if it's one of those things where it's a given, like your administration expects it, your students expect it, don't get so consumed in the winning that you forget the teaching. A lot of times I did that. I would reach over a kid and go, no, you do it this way. And I wouldn't tell them how, and I wouldn't tell them why. I would just do it. Again, if your assignments become, insert contest award submission, you need to look at where you are. Now, it could be something that you do as a portfolio piece later, but definitely it shouldn't be where you start. Newer programs, new teachers, start small. Don't, and I echo this as often as I can, if you're a new teacher or a new program, you can't look at a program that's got a teacher that's been there 15 years and that is fully funded and has all the bells and whistles. You can't compare yourself to that. You're still trying to figure out where the faculty bathroom is, and once you figured out what the code is to get in. So new programs, new teachers, definitely start small. Start with building those relationships with your kids. And if you have some kids that are spectacular, then do that. But don't make it the main focus of your program, because it's really, really damaging to everyone involved. I mean, your kids, your relationships with your administration. It's dangerous for your mentality. I mean, if you're submitting work that you think is good enough to be submitted, but it doesn't come back as a winner, it's kind of a problem for you, and that's something that that you'll check yourself on, and really may struggle with how do you stack up against other programs and against other schools. So definitely keep in mind if you're doing contests, and this is the season. I mean, we're in the spring of 2021. This is contest season. If you're doing contests, make sure that it's about celebrating quality content, not creating quality content. Creating quality content should be the everyday, but it should be spectacular content that you submit for those contests, and not just, not just something that you made an assignment for a month and a kid has to make a commercial that's right to the specs, because that's not what you're going to be able to expect outside in the real world. So again, thank you so much for listening. Go check out the rest of our stuff. It's available anywhere you get your podcasts. We're also on Facebook at teachingtothetestpattern.com. And have a great day. And as always, go out and make some awesome.
Teaching to the Test Pattern.